Grace, the immeasurable and intangible gift of God that touches the life of every living soul on earth and can only be paid for in measures of blood. Grace is the gift that sustains and keeps us until the day of account, when it will either cease to be or transformed to eternity. For those whom grace will cease, they are heirs of Adam who will inherit his legacy, the sentence of death God vowed to carry out if he were to eat the fruit he told him not to. And for those whom grace will continue unto eternity, they are God's chosen who will inherit the life without end initially intended for Adam to serve God continually. The post-Eden reality means that God's chosen, who are destined for eternal life, no longer occupy a specific place, but live as his witnesses amongst those who aren't his. When God looked across the face of the earth in the time of a man named Noah to behold an extremely wicked generation, he knew it was time to destroy humankind. The grace allotted to that generation was insufficient to sustain them past the period of time. Except for Noah and his household, God would destroy all life on earth with a flood. God used a combination of heavy rain and the release of water stored inside the earth to inundate its surface with increasing levels until all air-breathing life was extinguished. And as the flood prevailed upon the earth to wash away the wickedness of that corrupt generation, the water was also the medium by which Noah and his family were saved. Noah and his family took refuge inside the ark God instructed him to build. The rest of the world would perish during the 11 plus months when it was their sanctuary. And when they left the ark, they were given the responsibility of rebuilding the earth's population to give God access to future generations of Adam and Eve's descendants. Noah's 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives would provide this posterity, but a world that is occupied by humankind will invariably breed violence and corruption. God admitted as much about the nature of humans when he declared in Genesis 8:21, "For the imaginations of man's heart is evil from his youth," in the days after the flood. In the period after the flood, Noah was the senior surviving member of Adam's and Eve's line. As such, he was chosen by God to be his representative on earth for a new order. The new order would include allowances for violence and the shedding of blood, even though there were primary reasons why God intervened by sending the destructive flood. In the new order, man would be required to spill man's blood. Animals would also be required to spill man's blood, and man required to spill their blood, albeit also for food. But amongst men, there would be roles of good and evil that had to be performed by someone throughout the generations ahead, conflicting roles within the same family. It was with Noah whom God established the covenant of the new order of life on earth after the floods, and as such, Noah had authority to choose the roles of his 3 sons. The opportunity to choose which of his sons would play what roles presented itself to Noah one day when, after drinking wine, he fell asleep naked and exposed in his tent. He was discovered in his state of nakedness by his second son Ham, who then went and gossiped about what he'd seen to his brothers Shem and Japheth. When Noah woke to learn what Ham had done, he cursed his son Canaan, declaring he would be a servant of servants to Shem and Japheth. This curse by his grandfather would put Canaan directly at odds with God's plans in the generations to come.